What's up, everybody? My name is Del. This is Del on Movies. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back and hanging out with me again. I truly appreciate it. And the challenge from Huck at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe continues. And this time we're talking about directors. So he started with the A to Z challenge, and then he moved on to 25 actors and then 25 actresses. So he's finishing up this little cluster of challenges with directors. And I'm gonna put my own spin on it, as I have been doing all the way through, at least with the actors and the actresses. I didn't quite do that with the A to Z. And again, we have all directors of color, all men and women of color, and it got a lot of fantastic movies here. Now, the big challenge, of course, what makes this interesting is that you are not allowed to use any of the movies from the other challenges that you did in this one. So a lot of movies I've already used were eliminated right off the bat. And like with the actors and the actresses, and even the A to Z, you get 25 picks here this time. And of course, you get one ensemble pick, and I'll talk a little bit more about the ensemble pick when I get to it. So the movies I got a couple stacks here in front of me. They're not in any particular order as far as preference by director or anything like that, just 25 people that I came up with. I did want to mention one director that I did not include here, and that's Gina Prince Bythewood. She directed Love and Basketball, and there's another movie called Beyond the Lights that I'm pretty sure I have somewhere. I can't find it, so I decided not to include her. But I've got boxes of movies somewhere over there, so I'm gonna have to find it one of these days, because I do want to watch it again. So it's a good movie. Didn't include her, but I do have 25 more great directors here. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first one I'm going to start in, and well, I said this is in no particular order. That's except for the first two guys that I'm going to bring up, first two directors I'm going to bring up, and that's because they're related. So the first one is Melvin Van Peebles, and I recently did a review of this whole collection of Melvin Van Peebles movies from the Criterion Collection. So for him, I'm including what I think is the best movie in that set, and that is The Watermelon Man. So definitely check out that video if you're interested in this set. It's a really good set. It's an important set as far as black cinema is concerned, because Melvin Van Peebles is he's an icon in that field. Next, I'm going to talk about his son, Mario Van Peebles. Mario also has a movie in that set. Actually, he did a movie where he plays his father, and they talk about the making of Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. It's about the making of that movie, but that's not the movie I'm going to go with. I included Mario in the Actors Challenge when we did Wesley Snipes with New Jack City. He directed that, and this time I'm going with his Western Posse, which I do not have on Blu-ray. I think it's out. I think there's one out there. Posse is a black Western, as you can tell from the cover, and that's Mario Van Peebles right there in the center. So he is also the star of the movie, and it's a really fun Western if you've never seen that one. Next director up is George Tillman Jr. So George Tillman Jr. He's done a few movies that I like. He did Notorious, which is about the rapper Notorious B.I.G. He did that movie, but the one I'm gonna go with is what I think is his most important movie and his best movie, maybe his best movie, and that is The Hate U Give. So yep, there may be some there's definitely some social commentary going on here. That's pretty much the whole point of the movie, but it's a really good movie. Next up is a lady named Cassie Lemons. If you don't know who Cassie Lemons is, she played the best friend in the original Candyman. So she is an actress, and she went on to direct movies herself. She directed Harriet a couple years ago, about Harriet Tubman. This was one of her earlier movies. I don't have the movie I really wanted to pick for her, which is Eve's Bayou, which was her debut. But I do have this movie. Stars Don Cheadle and Chiwetel Ejiofor, and it's a biopic. It's called Talk to Me. And Cheadle plays the main character. He is a radio DJ in Washington D.C. named Petey Green, and like I said, this is based on a true story. So For some reason this has gone under the radar, even though Cheeto gives one of his best performances in this movie. I know everyone talks about Hotel Rwanda and of course the stuff he did in the MCU and the stuff he did in the Ocean's movies, but for me this might be his best performance. Talk to me. Next up, we have another lady. We have Ava DuVernay. She was represented in the Actress Challenge with A Wrinkle in Time, which I pulled for Alfred Woodard. But here I'm going with Selma, which is the biopic of Martin Luther King, and it's really not a full biopic. It's more about a short period of time in his life, and it's a really good movie. So if you haven't seen Selma, it's pretty much crystallizes a lot of what Dr. King and his followers went through with during the Civil Rights era. The next person on the list is Steve McQueen, and I'm not talking about the actor Steve McQueen. I'm talking about the director Steve McQueen, and he did a movie. He's done quite a few movies here lately, and probably my favorite is Widows, or one of my favorites is Widows. And you can see I could have picked this for an ensemble pick because the cast is just amazing here. You got Viola Davis, you got Daniel Kaluuya is a great villain in this movie. Colin Farrell is in it. Cynthia Erivo, who went on to play Harriet Tubman, so we got a lot of Harriet Tubman connections here. Michelle Rodriguez, Robert Duvall, Liam Neeson, so it's a fantastic cast, but Widows is what I'm picking for Steve McQueen. Next person I'm picking, I did have in the Actors Challenge. Now, Huck didn't set any rules. He didn't say that you couldn't pick someone in the director category that you picked in the acting category. So I am going with someone who I did pick in the Actors Challenge, and I don't think it's the last time. But this one is Mr. Denzel Washington. A lot of people don't realize that he directs films. He directed Fences, which I used in the Actors Challenge for Viola Davis. And this, I believe this was his directorial debut, and this is The Great Debaters. He does star in this one as well. And this is based on a true story. And yep, as you can see, this is a Blockbuster exclusive. I bought this way back in the day when I was working in Blockbuster. They had the used copy, so this was I think it was 3 for $10 at the time, something like that. But The Great Debaters, if you haven't seen that one, it is a fascinating story about an all-black debate team. Gordon Parks is my next director, and he has some light shining on him because he has his biggest achievement just came to the Criterion Collection not long ago, and I had to pick up that collection and represent it here today, and that's Shaft. And of course he's got the rest of the Shaft movies. One of them is here, Shaft's Big Score, that's the sequel, but Shaft is a movie that I would be picking for Mr. Gordon Parks. We have another young lady here, and this is Dee Reeves. She also came to the Criterion Collection recently, last year I believe, because that's when I picked it up. And the movie that I have for her is Pariah. And I've spoken about this in a couple of videos, so definitely go ahead and check it out. Her other movie, a more popular movie, was on Netflix, and I think that's gonna come to the Criterion Collection at some point. I know they were in talks about it, and that's Mudbound. So if you haven't seen Mudbound, it should still be on Netflix. Go ahead and check that out. Mr. Antoine Fuqua, I think that's how you say his name. He is up next, and Mr. Fuqua, he's made quite a name for himself in a lot of action movies, and in this one I'm going with is probably his most famous one, and it stars Denzel, so this is Training Day. F. Gary Gray is the next director. Now, F. Gary Gray, he's also carved out a nice niche for himself, done a lot over the years, over the last 20 years or so. He's been directing movies and he's got a lot of stuff out there. And this one is Straight Outta Compton, which is, of course, the biopic about rap group NWA. And it's a really good, if you like music biopics and you haven't seen Straight Outta Compton, go ahead and get that one. Next on the list is Ryan Coogler. Now, he's also been well represented through these challenges for me. I did Fruitvale Station was his debut that I used for Octavia Spencer in the Actress Challenge. He also did the first Creed movie, sorry, not both Creeds. He did the first Creed movie, and I used that for Michael B. Jordan in the Actors Challenge. So it was only right that I go with his biggest movie to date, and it might be surpassed in a couple weeks or a couple months rather, because the sequel is coming out. But this one is Black Panther. This, by the way, the first 4K movie I ever bought. And I actually would have liked a different steelbook, but you guys let me know. Yeah, I know there's another one out there. I just didn't pick that one up. John Singleton is next on the list. He's a legendary director. Passed away a couple years ago. I think it was a couple years ago. And Boys in the Hood, I've already used that in my A to Z challenge, so couldn't use Boys in the Hood. That's his debut, and it's a great movie. I'm going with the follow-up here, and that is Poetic Justice. And this allows me to get a couple of things accomplished. It allows me to get Janet Jackson, as you can see in here. She's represented on the cover. I didn't include her in the Actress Challenge. And it also allows me to get Tupac Shakur, who I did not include in the Actors Challenge. So I love it for that. But it's a really good movie, though, Poetic Justice. And now we go with a director named Zhang Yimou. If you're not familiar with that person, he does a lot of martial arts movies, and this one is one of the best. And the cinematography in here is just amazing in this movie. And I think I'm not sure if it has a 4K, but I would love to have a 4K of this. And that's Hero, starring Jet Li. So yes, I get to get Jet Li in here because I did not include him in the Actors Challenge either. But Hero is a crazy movie. Donnie Yen is also in this movie. Zhang Ziyi is in this movie, who I did include in the Actress Challenge. So if martial arts fan and you've not seen Hero, you're missing out. Next up is an actress who I did not include in the Actress Challenge. I don't know what I was thinking. I just totally blanked on her, and that's Miss. She's also a director, and so this is what she's here for, and that is Regina King, and her directorial debut, One Night in Miami, which, as you can see, just came to the Criterion Collection recently. So definitely check out One Night in Miami, and definitely check out Regina King as an actress, because she is amazing at it. And I'm on the off chance that she might one day happen to see this. Like, I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm apologizing to her for just not including her here. But she's in the next movie I'm going to talk about, and this is directed by someone else. This is directed by Barry Jenkins. He has directed a lot of critically acclaimed movies, and this one is If Beale Street Can Talk. It's a really bittersweet kind of romance movie. It's a lot happening in this movie, more than just romance. So I know it got some acclaim when it came out, but it's kind of gone under the radar since. So yeah, definitely check out If Beale Street Can Talk. Now, the next person is also an actor, but I didn't include this person in the Actors Challenge. So I didn't have this person anywhere, and I had to get this guy in. This is none other than Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan directed Police Story and Police Story 2. These are some of the most amazing action sequences ever, and you can say that about 10 more Jackie Chan movies, 20 more Jackie Chan movies, ones he did direct and ones he didn't. And of course, as well known, he does every stunt himself, so he's broken everything. This is the guy Tom Cruise aspires to be. So Jackie Chan gets in there with the 2 Police Story movies. My next director is he's been really popular over the last 5-7 years or so, and he's another director who I don't have the movie I really wanted to pick. His name is Taika Waititi. Actually, there's 2 movies I really wanted to pick, and I don't have either one. The Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows is just the funniest vampire movie ever, probably. And then the other one, The Hunt for the Wilder People, is an amazing coming-of-age story, and almost a road chase movie. So if you haven't seen either one of those, check those out. But the movie I am going to go for, again, his biggest movie to date, and that is Thor Ragnarok. Easily the best of the Thor movies. He directed the one that's in theaters now, Thor Love and Thunder. Well, it's not in theaters anymore because I just picked it up on 4K. But he did direct that also, but this is the far better movie. Next up is a couple of guys, a brother team, the Hughes brothers. Their debut, Menace to Society. I used that in the A to Z challenge recently on the Criterion Collection, so I grabbed that up. This next movie needs at least a Blu-ray. Should get a 4K because I watched it recently on DVD, and it's got some amazing scenes and probably one of the best transitions of all time. And I'm not even joking, but the movie is Dead Presidents. So if you're looking for it, this movie has a little bit of everything in it. It's got some. It's a section that's a war movie. It's a coming of age story. It's a Vietnam vet story. It's kind of a bittersweet romance. It's a heist movie. It's got a lot of everything in the movie in it. It definitely needs more recognition. For my next director, I'm going back into the Criterion Collection. When I was pulling these off the shelf, guys, I didn't realize how many Criterion movies I was pulling. But this one is by a director named Alfonso Cuaron. I think that's how you say it. Anybody who speaks Spanish out there, just let me know of how bad I butchered his name. But the film is called, and the title of this movie, I'm going to go ahead and say it the way I always say it, and I'm sorry. But the movie is called Y Tu Mama También. And yep, this is a great coming of age story. I did talk about this when I did my whole Criterion Collection video, so you can check that one out. And matter of fact, I'll put a link to that one in the description. But it is an excellent film. The next director is Mr. Bong Joon-ho, Korean director. He came to prominence really with Parasite, which won Best Picture. I didn't pick Parasite. I do have Parasite, didn't pick it. It is a fantastic movie. I love it, but I wanted to go with something that not as many people have seen, and that is a movie. He also directed The Host, of course, a monster flick that did get him some kind of a little bit of notoriety a few years back. But this movie is called Mother. I don't really hear people talking about this movie, and this is the titular mother. Her son is accused of a crime, and she has to. Her son is accused of a crime, and then she basically goes around trying to figure out what happened because not many people are really willing to help her. And by the time you finish this movie, you wish you had a mother as good as her. It's a great movie, so check out Mother. Next director is a Japanese legend, and that's Takashi Miike. And a couple of different ways I could have went with him. I chose a movie that is basically it's a live action anime. A lot of his movies kind of go that way, but this one is really a live action anime, and it's insane from start to finish. And that one is Ichi the Killer. So if you're just looking for something off the wall and don't mind blood and guts and just don't mind something that's just way out there, go ahead and check out Ichi the Killer. The next director is a Korean director again. I used one of his movies in the A to Z challenge. The movie is Old Boy. The director is Park Chan-wook, and Old Boy has sorry guys, I'm bumping the mic. So he is one of my favorite directors. Aside from Old Boy, of course, he's got the Vengeance trilogy. He's got Lady Vengeance and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. They belong with Old Boy, even though they're not technically related, as in they don't share characters or theme or anything like that. They just share the theme of vengeance. But this movie is my absolute favorite vampire movie of all time. And I've seen a lot of vampire movies, but this one really stuck with me. And this one is called Thirst. So I'm not going to say too much more about Thirst, at least not here. I am planning on being, or I'm supposed to be on KB's channel, KB Loves Movies, and we're supposed to talk about Thirst. So I'll let you guys know when that's supposed to happen. And matter of fact, KB, if you're watching, let me know when it's supposed to happen so I can get prepared, get myself prepared, make sure I'm ready for you. But yeah, Thirst is a great vampire flick. Next up is one that's directed. That's probably on a lot of guys' list, at least a few Directors Challenge videos that I've seen. This guy's always appearing, so he appeared on mine as well. That's Guillermo del Toro, and of course, the movie that I went with is probably my favorite one of his, and that's Pan's Labyrinth. He's got a lot of great stuff, a lot of great creature effects and creature features, but Pan's Labyrinth is outstanding. And next, we have another director. This one is, again, I'm gonna butcher his name. This is Mexican gentleman Pedro Almodovar. I believe that's how you say his name. And he's another director. Again, I have the best movies of his. I don't have, or at least what I think of the best movies of his. But this movie is really good. This one is called Bad Education. And if you know, especially Hispanic cinema, you probably will know this name, Gael Garcia Bernal. He's an outstanding actor, and this movie is about a filmmaker. He's searching for his dad. It's been a while since I've seen it, but like a lot of Almodovar's movie, it deals a lot with gender identity and a lot of gender identity issues, and it takes the movies in places that you just would not expect. And the last, I wasn't keeping, I counted them all out before I started, so I know that this is the 25th of the regular movies that I'm picking. Then we'll get to the ensemble one, and this one is Spike Lee. Of course, I had to include Mr. Lee. I used Do the Right Thing in the A to Z challenge, and I used, I know I used another movie of his. I can't think of it right off the top of my head right now, but I went with a movie that is not as well known, even though it is in the Criterion Collection, and that one is Bamboozled. And yeah, if you don't know anything about the movie and you look at the cover, you might get scared away from watching it, but I highly implore you to check this movie out. It's got a lot to say, and it is sadly still relevant. But so yeah, Bamboozled, for me, it is definitely top tier Spike Lee. And now we get to the ensemble pick. So the way Huck did this is that the ensemble pick is a movie, just a movie with an ensemble cast. And that's the way most people have been doing it. I think everybody that I've seen has been doing it. They just picked a movie with an ensemble cast. I decided to do something different. I decided that for my ensemble pick, it's going to have an ensemble of directors. So that meant an anthology movie. And in this case, it is a movie called, it's a horror movie, so it's out, and it's October, so it's right on time. But it is this movie called Three Extremes. So you can tell, you can look right here. I'll try to get it even closer to the camera so you can read the names. There's Park Chan-wook, who we just talked about with Thirst, and Takashi Miike, we talked about with Ichi the Killer. And then there's another director named Fu Chan, and they had each basically made a short film and they put them together. So it's not like it's not an anthology where the story is 15 minutes, or less. These are short films, and I think they're roughly 30 minutes each. And Takashi Miike has a movie called Box on there, and it is a woman discovers a box, and she has this box, and it's just it's madness what happens after with the box. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with all of these. Park Chan-wook's a movie called Cut. His short film is called Cut, and you wind up with this woman just kind of strung up with all kind of wire, not strung up in the literal sense, but she's like attached to her piano with all sorts of cords and things that will just cut her if she does the wrong thing or moves the wrong way. And finally, this Fu Chan's movie, and I'm not really familiar with any of this person's other work, but the movie is called Dumplings, And Dumplings is a highly disturbing movie. There's actually two versions included on this. One is the short film version, which I didn't actually watch. And the other is the full-length feature version of it, which I did watch. And yeah, when you find out what's in the dumplings or what, because her whole deal is that she's getting to be an older woman, and her husband has been cheating on her with a younger woman, so she's trying to recapture her beauty. So she seeks out someone who can help her. She's gone through all sorts of stuff and nothing seems to work, so she seeks out this woman who makes these supposedly magical dumplings that restore your youth. And I'll leave it at that. So Three Extremes is one. If you're looking for a horror anthology to watch, Three Extremes is definitely one. You've probably already seen Creep Show, and you've already seen Tales from the Hood. You've already seen the VHS movies. So go ahead and find something that you haven't and check out Three Extremes. There's also a sequel, which I have, but I haven't even seen. So I think I'm going to give that one a watch. I'll probably give them both a watch over the next few weeks, because I want to watch a lot of spooky movies too, just like you. But thanks again to Huck at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe for issuing these challenges and helping us do all this great content for you guys. Definitely check out his channel. I will leave a link in the description so you can check out all of his videos, and go ahead and subscribe to him because he's got a lot of great content. Especially he does the trivia night that's coming up, and just support all the guys out here, all the guys and gals who are doing these challenge videos, because a lot of people are taking part in them. For me, just like, comment, and yeah, subscribe if you like what you see, and leave comments down below. Who are some of your favorite directors, and what are the movies that you would pick, or make your own video and tag me, tag Huck, just tag somebody and let us know that you did it so we can go and watch it. And that's all I have for you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.